if there's something I want to say to the world is this is hard, no doubt. This is hard. But believing that there is another side, yes, this is hard, the newly diagnosed. It is hard getting adjusted. It is hard living with it. But there is another side that you can get to. That being said, getting to the other side is where you need to have hope and instill hope in yourself. Give hope to your family, can give you hope, because doing things to better yourself, like physical well, first off, your mindset, developing the mindset that I will get to the other side. The next mindset thing, and I'm literally saying this as I go, because I think it's required. The mindset that I will get to the other side. The mindset that I can exercise. I can do things to better how I move in the world. I can do that. I can be compliant with my therapy.
MS can get on your nerves.
If you're living with MS or even loving someone with MS,
you don't have to face it alone.
This is On My Nerves. MS Unfiltered.
A place for honest conversation, connection, and healing.
Where we say the quiet parts out loud.
Together. Hey guys, welcome back to this episode of On My Nerves, MS Unfiltered. I'm Tim X, and this is MSchelleRx here today. And today we're talking about endurance. What keeps us going with the meds? And Michelle, what keeps you going on hard days, on the tough days?
I really don't know if I have a secret sauce, what keeps me going. But I think one thing is the alternative doesn't seem like a viable alternative. Quitting has never been an alternative for me. It's very north or south for me. North means I keep going, means I endure it, means I push through. I square my shoulders and look ahead to see what I need to do. Not doing that or not enduring or not pushing through, it translates to non-existence to me. And to me, that's not an option. I mean, it's extreme, but that's how I see it. I see it as I'm here or I'm not here. If I'm going to be here, I'm going to be all the way here. If I'm not going to be here, then I'm not going to be here at all. So to answer your question, not enduring does not seem like an option for me.
Yeah, I get that. It's my son that keeps me going. You know, tough days, whenever I run out of energy, whenever it's hard to do simple things, I just think about him. And I've got to keep going. I have no choice. You know, I've got to try to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to try. And so, you know, that gives me the motivation to find the strength to dig deep. But I've also learned not to overdo it too.
Yeah.
So learning my balance and just thinking about him kind of helps me keep putting one foot in front of him.
Yeah. To that point, like what you were saying about your son, and you have like that's something that you're focused on. Like I have to do this for my son. And I'm sure that is a lot of people's motivation is their offspring, their children. They want to be there for their children. And then there are people like me who don't have children. And so, and I was thinking about that because like I don't have a child that I'm needing to be there for. I do have a husband that I need to be here for. But at the same time, I feel like this internal churn to be there for myself, you know, and I don't really know how to explain that, but it's like I can't quit thing, you know? So I don't know what I would be like if I had a child, you know? I feel like this internal, like I hear the Rocky theme in my head all the time. I can't quit. I have to keep going.
Yeah, man. How finding hope has shaped your approach. Has it been hard to find hope? Has it been difficult to keep it once you find it?
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've never labeled it as hope. I've always labeled it as there are no choices. You have no option. You have to do this. And so I don't know if it's hope, because hope sounds like they're flowers and, you know, dandelions. I don't see it like that. I see it as I don't have a choice. I want to be hopeful. And I think like with the advent of new therapies and new ways of or like concepts like neuroplasticity and physical therapy that provides hope, or certain therapeutic interventions that can assist you in mobility and things like that. That provides hope.
Right. Yeah.
Do
No,
you see it as hope?
I try.
I
You
mean,
know,
what gives you hope?
I try to be conscious. I try to be conscious of seeking, searching, and maintaining hope. Because I think that's a big part. So much about this experience is negative. I try to make it a point to try to seek out hope. I've learned to try to make it a point. I haven't always been like this. So for me, finding hope is an action. It's not something that comes naturally to me, I think, considering the circumstance, but I
Mm,
feel like staying grounded in faith gives me the hope that I need to continue every day.
okay.
Finding hope and faith, finding hope in my son,
Yes.
finding hope in the relationships that I have. Kind of keeps me motivated day in and day out.
Well, you're teaching me, because I think the way you just framed it is beautiful, because finding hope isn't, I don't know if I've not approached it as an action, because I'm always looking for how can I get better and how can I make things better. But I don't look at it as hope. I look at it as I got to get this done. I got to keep going. I think I have a pressurized view. So it's
So
like
to
hope
you,
under pressure.
it's hope. Is hope related to faith?
It
Is
is.
hope and faith the same or not?
They are. I think because I have faith, the offshoot of the faith I have is hope. But in an attempt to seek after the hope, I don't think I take a calm view of it, like allowing it to just flow inward. I think I think I have a furrowed brow. Like I have to find
Yeah,
hope, you know, and I need to
right.
calm down. I'm basically chastising myself. I need to
Yeah,
calm down,
yeah.
because I do have faith. God has always been faithful to me. So I'm not exactly sure why I do approach it with such an iron fist. Like I have hope. There's a way to get around this. I know I can get around this. And I know I can, for lack of a better term, win.
Mm.
And that's not good, you know.
Good. That's a good question. So do you feel like you need to win against MS? Do you carry that with you, that burden?
I did at first.
You did that first.
Yeah. I'm a competitor. And I mean, I'm a competitor with not with others, um, but with myself. It's always me against me. And and so I'm very much a competitor. I mean, I've been an athlete, but you know, as far as that goes, but I've always been a competitor, me against me. And I think MS was my biggest op. So I'm like, game on.
How has that changed? What changed that?
What?
That you said that you used to be.
Well, nothing changed it actually. It's still there. It's still there.
What do you feel that now, today, still that you need to win, that you have to win? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I feel like I need to win. I feel like I just need to be. Like, can I just be? I don't want to win. I don't want to lose. I just want to be. Can I just not have this thing to try to win against or lose against or whatever, compete with? I just want to be. You
I
know?
like your way
It's,
of doing it. I do.
yeah.
I like your way. But I think it's been me against me my whole life. I think that's how I have lived, in my
Mhm.
skin, me against me. Not like, like, not like a traumatic situation, the things I need therapy for kind of thing. But I think I've
Right.
always pushed myself. I think I'm built that way. I'm very
Mhm.
self driven. And so to me, MS, I didn't see MS as, and I still don't, I don't see MS as, um, oh, I have MS. I don't see it like that. I'm like, oh, really? So now there's another opponent, me against me. It's a challenge. I don't see it as, I, I mean, I feel like I don't know, I feel weird because now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't think I've ever said it out loud. But that's literally the conversation I have in my head. It's me against me.
Me against me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like it's yeah. I feel like it's me against me sometimes. more so me against, you know, MS. Me against my symptoms. I would say that. Sometimes I think I compete daily with my symptoms. Like, can I brush a little longer? Can I stand a little longer? What can I do today that I can do tomorrow? Keeping up with the varying symptoms every day. So staying on top of that for me, and now being able to control what happens has been a lesson in itself,
Yeah.
of just accepting what is happening, not giving in, not turning over, but alone for
Right.
the ride,
Right.
through faith, through hope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For someone who's newly diagnosed, what advice would you give to them about hope and about faith?
If you don't have it, get it. Both. If you don't have it, get it.
But I don't know what this is. This is new to me. My whole life, my entire life is turned upside down with this diagnosis. What is hope?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you asked because one thing to note is MS is hard, no
It's
doubt.
tough.
MS is hard. But I don't think I've ever been asked the question before until you're asking me now. But for some reason, by you asking me now, it just made me mount up because I'm like, if there's something I want to say to the world is this is hard, no doubt. This is hard. But believing that there is another side, yes, this is hard, the newly diagnosed. It is hard getting adjusted. It is hard living with it, but there is another side that you can get to. That being said, getting to the other side is where you need to have hope and instill hope in yourself. Give hope to your family, can give you hope because doing things to better yourself, like well, first off, your mindset, developing the mindset that I will get to the other side. The next mindset, because I think it's required. The mindset that I will get to the other side. The mindset that I can exercise. I can do things to better how I move in the world. I can do that. I can be compliant with my therapy. Therapy has come so far since the 1960s. Therapy, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm not saying this because I'm a pharmacist. I'm saying this because I'm a pharmacist. It is one thing to be a pharmacist and know what drugs are created. It's another thing to be a pharmacist and actually take the drugs that have been created. Therapy has come so far since I was first diagnosed. And I was diagnosed in 2001. And the therapy now in 2026 is so much more advanced. And you have so many more options than you did before of living a really, really quality life. So what I would say to someone newly diagnosed now is hope is where you should start because there was a day that this did not exist. It did not exist. And let me give you a real life example. I'm not going to release your medical information. That's like an entire HIPAA violation. But I will say this. Like, for example, the drug that you take, when I was first diagnosed, there was no drug like the drug that you took on the market at all. At all. So if you were diagnosed when I was diagnosed with the type of MS you had, you would have been in trouble. It would have been a totally different outcome. But you were diagnosed years after me, and the drug had been created. You're living the life that you're living. You're experiencing the goodness you're experiencing now because the drug exists. So that is hope. So
Thank God.
yes, that is a massive blessing because
Yeah,
to be alive, I mean, I've been alive long enough to have seen the arc of therapy
yeah,
from the time I was diagnosed to the time to now. And I say without stuttering, had you been diagnosed with me, your life would have looked totally different, totally different. So yes, that's what I would say to somebody newly diagnosed. And I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I kind of want to stay here a little bit longer because I feel really strongly about this. Now is the time to have hope. Now is in 2026, now is a great time to have hope because
yeah. No, it really is. And I don't mean to cut you off, but I
no,
gotta
go.
say, you bring up the point, man. My drug, whenever it came out, I was one of the first patients that my neurologist recommended. There were three of us, and I was in the first group. And she was just explaining to me the significance of the fact because we had tried different drugs and they weren't working, this side of thing. That side, I couldn't function for whatever. And I was having relapses. And so they finally approved this. And the second relapse I had, uh, and I was in a wheelchair. And she like, we're gonna try this. And we tried it, and it worked. And so that has given me hope. The development, the progression of a treatment gives me
Mm-hmm.
hope. The science around it gives me hope.
Yes.
I do know at one point, early on, I think maybe 40s, whatever, they were suggesting that if you have MS, just don't move, don't exercise at all. Everything you do causes some type of reaction, inflammation. And now to see that that has changed. In fact, actually, you do need to exercise. You do need to work out. You do need to
Mm-hmm.
move. That gives me hope.
Mm-hmm.
And learning that you still can move
Yes.
after you lost the ability maybe to do other things, you know,
Right.
like you still can move, you may have to do more work here or there, but you still can do it. And so I encourage our listeners out there, you know, you may lose hope, but you can always get it back. There's a beauty in anchoring that faith, that hope in your faith, not a Christian faith, it has been a journey throughout this disease, but I feel whole in the sense that my faith has carried me and continues to carry me. And I hope and pray that we go far with this faith.
Yes. Yes. And to all of our listeners out there, you don't see what I see. I see the behind the scenes, but I saw when you were first diagnosed. And when you were first diagnosed, there was a sense of fear. There was a sense of fear because I was
Mhm.
thinking, oh, shoot, there is no therapy. Not for this. Not yet. When it came out, I mean, I guess you have to be me to understand the joy I felt because I saw Tim has a chance. Tim has a chance. I mean, it's one thing to know the science, to read the articles, to look at the clinical trials. There's one thing to look at it like that, the literature. It's one thing to understand the science. It's one thing to know what's in the pipeline. That's one thing. But to see in 3D someone you love receive it and be able to live well as a result of it, totally different thing. Totally different thing. And I don't know if you guys realize this, but my younger brother is a pharmacist too. And both of us felt the same level of when your med came out. We both felt the same level of joy. We got something because there was a day because my brother and I were both around when I
Yeah,
was diagnosed and it didn't exist. So when you got it and the drug came out, we were just like, oh, the joy. It was amazing. It was amazing. I didn't anticipate to have all these feels, but that is hope.
that's hope.
That's
That's
hope.
hope. Now, in your experience, let's talk about the communities out here, the
Mm-hmm,
message boards, the
mm-hmm.
groups. Have you found in your experience, does that give you hope? Those relationships, if you have any from those spaces?
I can't really speak to it because I've never been in it.
Yeah, okay.
Because not because I find myself to be levitated above it in any way,
Yeah,
but because I wasn't seeking anybody else's opinion, I was
mhm,
seeking science. And so I felt like the message boards to me, because I was still working, right?
right,
So to me, to look at the science was just like going to work. It was going to work. If you need other people to lock arms with you and come alongside you, do it. That just was not my lane because
right,
I never did it. I regret it to some degree. This is why I regret it because I wish I would have had more relationships within the MS community. But I think I was so face forward on me against me, me against me. It sounds selfish, but I was so face forward until I was like, I gotta work, I gotta exercise, gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. I guess I didn't make room for hearing other things. I was focused. I gotta be whole. I gotta be healthy. That's all I was really focused on.
yeah,
Everything
yeah,
else, everything else. And then I'm not talking about just the message boards. I'm talking about anything in life. If it looked
Yes.
like a distraction, I stayed away from it because I was like, my goal is to be well. So if it felt in any way like a distraction, I was like, no. And I would just keep going. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I worked in the hospital. And some people would be diagnosed with MS. And they would come ask me, not as a patient, how do you feel? They would ask me as a pharmacist, Michelle, can you explain to me this therapy? Or they'd say, this is the symptoms I'm having, as if I didn't have the same thing. But they talk to me as a pharmacist. They wouldn't talk to me as a patient. So
Mhm.
it never felt like my heart, my being wasn't involved. My brain was involved, if that makes sense. Like I learned how to compartmentalize in that context. But if I ever came out of that context, I felt distracted and it would throw me off. So I think it was a coping mechanism. I'm not saying it was a good one. I'm saying it was one. Like I was like, I have to go to work. I can't be distracted. I can't focus on that. I have to focus on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. In the beginning, for me,
Mm-hmm.
the message boards, I found it for me to be just so much of the doom and gloom and not more so of the encouraging part of it. So for me at the time, I just felt like, it's just not for me. There was just so much, depression, despair of just people expressing, how much their lives have changed and
Mm-hmm.
so much negative speak to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I do
Mm-hmm.
know that people need that
Mm-hmm.
a lane to express that. But for me, I just kind of stayed away,
Yeah,
which is why being here today for this podcast is a big deal for me
it is.
because I've always been open to talking about it because I just don't want to live here.
Right.
But ding, 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 I'm living here. So I'm here.
But I think the reframe has a lot to do with it because although you're living here and I'm living here, there's safety in the fact that you know me and you
Yeah.
know that I know your guardrails. You know that I'm not going to take you down a road of doom and
Oh,
gloom.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tell you the truth. You know, yeah, this is a safe space, you know? And I think that's where, because some people need a safe space where they can speak freely, but at the
Yeah.
same time, reframing everything
Mhm.
is not horrible. You know what I mean? Like reframing, just because it's different doesn't mean it's bad. But we're not negating the fact that it still is hard. Some things are
Yeah.
really hard.
Really hard. My brother stopped me from saying I'm sick. And so, you just in conversation, "Oh, I'm sick, this, that." Like, you're not sick. You have a condition, but you're still living, you're still thriving, you're
Mhm.
still working towards your goals. You
Mhm.
still, it's tough. And it's gonna be tough, but you're
Mhm.
still living.
Mhm.
And so that that's those reframing is what you said. So
Yes.
you're right. Reframing how you think, how
Mhm.
you speak,
Mhm.
plays a big role, which is again led me to how I'm here today. Just
Right.
stop talking negative about it. It is what it
Yes.
is, but
Yes.
it's not terrible. You know,
Right. Exactly. And you said it. You literally just said it. Um, like the reframing, a lot of this is in your head. Now,
yeah,
that's kind of pun intended because it really is in your head,
yeah, it
but it's
is.
also in your brainstem, in your spinal cord. But your mind is powerful. And as a man thinketh, so is he. A lot of how far you go forward is how you think of a thing. And so if you decide before you even start, I'm not taking that medicine. I'm not going to let them experiment on me. Okay, that's your choice. Or you can say, I'm going to try this medicine and see what it does for me. That's also a choice. If you go into it deciding it's not going to work, then you're right. It's
Right.
not.
Well,
But if you go in with hope that this could possibly work for me, you might be surprised. It might. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
and my brother, my younger brother always says this. If you say you can't do it, you're right. If you say you can do it, you're still right. So what are you saying? What are you speaking to yourself? And if you decide in your mind, I can do this, I can walk forward, you're keep saying it, your body will catch up. It will catch up. Now, I'm not saying it's a miracle, but I'm saying your mind
Right.
is powerful. It's very powerful. And if and I'm saying this from the 30,000-foot view, that if you say, I'm too tired, I can't do this, I don't feel like doing this, nobody's going to argue with you. What are they going to say? You're not that tired. They're not going to say that to you. So nobody will argue with you. But if you say, I am tired, but I'm going to do this, that's also true. Both can be true. And so it's a decision. Sometimes it's a decision.
That's very true. That's very true. For me, the last couple of weeks, I have been in this fogness cloud that has been over me. And you notice we've talked about it. I have been forgetting. I've been just not able to think as sharply and as quickly. But I'm still showing up.
You sure are.
As as fragmented as it feels mentally, I'm still here.
You are.
Showing up.
I
Showing
can't
up.
tell you how proud I am of you, because you committed to not only this podcast, you committed to the people that we don't even know yet to show up. And this is what it looks like to bet on yourself. This is what it looks like to live with integrity. You said you were going to do it. You're doing it.
Right.
This is what it looks like. And I can visibly see, but because I've also known you long enough to know, this is not your normal, this isn't your default way of doing things. But you're like, no, I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up because it's not about you anymore. And I'm super proud of you because I can see it. I can see it. I can see the churn in your heart.
Thanks.
I can see it.
Thanks. Yeah, because sometimes I'm like, man, I don't want to, get here dropping my thoughts and losing track. I'm not making sense. I'm not connecting my sentences. I'm dropping my words. I'm doing all these things. It's a part of it. It's a
It's a
part
part
of
of it.
it's a reality. And so I'm here.
You're
Still
here.
here to try to offer and help, listen and learn for
Mm-hmm.
myself.
I just learned something from you. Like how I think about hope. I think I thought of hope in a more laboratory sense instead of like a real life sense until you made me think about the drug. Because before that I was like, no, I don't have any hope. But no, I do. I do have hope. I have hope.
Mhm.
I do. I do.
Oh, great. What a great. This was a great discussion. As always, it
As
is.
always.
Uh, Thanks for hanging out today. Hopefully, guys, it's reached some of you out there. And if you guys feel that you want to reach out to us, please do. Remember, like, share, subscribe. We're here for you guys. And thank you. Go ahead, Chef.
I have an announcement.
Oh, let's go. Let's roll.
Remember how we talked about how you can move and there's exercise that you can do?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's coming.
Okay.
We're about
All
to
right.
do. We're gonna start it pretty soon. Tune in.
Okay.
Stay with
Oh, yeah.
us. But it's coming.
All
We
right.
got movement on the docket. It's coming. So thank you so much for joining us.
We appreciate it. And as always, take care. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. This is On My Nerves, MS Unfiltered. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. None of the information is intended to diagnose or treat.
Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Be well, guys. Stay encouraged. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next episode.